Chapter 71. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I'll explain these things later. Open the door first and let us in. These nightmares are about to surround us. Tang Sha patted the door, looking at the monsters that were getting closer and closer, and shouted anxiously. No. That stranger has a fierce face, and he is not a good bird at first glance. I have to be responsible for so many people in this room. Tang Sha, if you really care about us, drive him away quickly. Inside the house, Tang Feng's stern voice came. A fierce face. Not a good bird. Miss Tang, is he talking about me? Jiang Chen, who was holding Ultraman's neck, looked at Tang Sha with a smile, but his eyes were shining with cold light, which made people shudder. Everyone says you are the leader of the survivors, but now it seems that you don't control your subordinates well. Let me, Jiang, teach them a lesson. After saying that, without waiting for Tang Sha to speak, he walked directly to the door of the house. You don't want us to go in, right? Then everyone should stay. A powerful kick directly blew the door open. Tang Feng, who was behind the door, was unable to react and was directly smashed out. Ah! No, the door is broken. The monster will not let us go. What should I do? Why did Sister Tang find such a bastard back? It's over, the rules are broken. Run away. Everyone in the house was in chaos. Many survivors looked at Tang Sha with complaints on their faces. Tang Sha was also anxious. Guest, you. How can you be so reckless? The house cannot be destroyed. The girl named Xiaoyu hurried forward to help Tang Feng, who had fallen to the ground, with a concerned face. Brother Tang Feng, are you okay? Tang Feng felt warm in his heart. Xiaoyu, I'm fine, cough cough. You're coughing up blood, and you still say you're fine. Xiaoyu picked up her handkerchief and carefully wiped the blood from the corner of Tang Feng's mouth. Xiaoyu, you are so nice. Then he looked at Tang Sha fiercely. Look at what you have done. The people you brought back. Do you want to kill us all? Brother, I. At this time, Tang Sha had no words to defend herself. I just forgot to tell him the precautions for survival here. Enough. Tang Sha. The silver-haired young man Qinglong pointed his sword at Jiang Chen with an indifferent expression. I don't care what the reason is. You are not welcome here. Outsiders. Ha ha ha. Interesting. I think you don't understand the situation. Jiang Chen couldn't help but hold his forehead and laugh. Welcome. What a joke, do I need your approval? Kill you, this place is still mine. Cruel words flowed out of Jiang Chen's mouth. Everyone was shocked. Looking at Jiang Chen with full vigilance, Qinglong shook the sword and threw out a sword flower. You can try it. Under the tense situation, the momentum in the room suddenly became anxious. Enough. Everyone stop. Tang Sha walked between the two. It's all a misunderstanding. The most urgent thing is to repair the door quickly. Before Tang Sha could make any arrangements, Xiaoyu's voice came. Sister Sha, let me do it, don't worry everyone. I am a superhuman candle fruit user. I will block the door with candles. Xiaoyu stood up with a look of compassion, slapped the ground with one hand, and the white candle liquid overflowed and covered the floor, and then continued to rise to seal the broken door, just in time to complete the operation at the last moment when the monster attacked. Then he touched the sweat on his head and stood up with a slightly pale face. Everyone is fine, Xiaoyu has done her job. Xiaoyu is so attentive, she sweated for us, really, I cried. Sister Xiaoyu is so safe. Sister Sha is so reckless. Thanks to Xiaoyu, otherwise we would all die here. She is simply our backbone. The other survivors present whispered to each other, looking at Tang Sha and Xiaoyu. Tang Sha ignored the gossip of the crowd. She was very tired now and needed a good rest. Dear guest, please do as you please. I will let Xiaohao tell you the survival rules here. After daytime, when the nightmare demons are gone, you can go out and find an empty house to live in. After that, Tang Shasha pointed to the little boy in the family of 3 and told him to help Jiang Chen get familiar with the environment and then left tiredly. Big brother, my name is Lin Hao, you can also call me Xiao Hao, thank you for saving us and sister Sha Sha. The little boy looked at Jiang Chen sincerely, with a determined look after suffering. Obviously, the little boy has been trapped in this nightmare town for a long time. Okay. Touching the little boy's head, ignoring the disgust and vigilance in the eyes of the people around him, Jiang Chen directly found a relatively clean and he walked into the empty room. Hey, hey, hey. Are you kidding me? That room is mine. Why do you, a newcomer, put together a bed? It's my traditional virtue to take care of newcomers. I'll take out my stuff right now. You can rest assured and have a good rest. A thin man who seemed to be the room owner chosen by Jiang Chen wanted to scold Jiang Chen, but he was frightened when he saw Jiang Chen's fierce eyes. His back was immediately covered with cold sweat. Murderous intent. This man definitely has someone killed. Not just one. He's a real thug. The man swallowed his saliva and sweated profusely. Seeing that no one stood up to speak for him, the eyes in the dark were mocking, and it was obvious that they were watching a show. Feeling ashamed, he found a remote room to hide in, and even left the sundries he had agreed to pack up. The world is cruel. The world is cruel. In the desperate town full of dangers, how many people are truly united? They are just for their own selfish interests. The man kept muttering before leaving. In the room. Xiaohao, can you tell me the basic situation here? Jiang Chen's face was gentle, revealing a kind smile. Lin Hao was not nervous at all, but when he saw Jiang Chen's kind smile and the Ultraman doll struggling and twisting in his hand, he suddenly felt uncomfortable. That. Big brother, actually there are too many situations that I don't know much about. At the beginning, my parents and I took the Hailu stone airship to go from Jiangqing to Beijing to visit grandpa and grandma. As a result, when we passed through a fog, the airship malfunctioned inexplicably and finally landed in this town. Since then, hundreds of people on the boat have been unable to leave here. There are man-eating monsters at night. It's been a year, and the only ones who survived the whole boat are me and my parents. I don't know how grandpa and grandma are now. He must be very worried about us. Woo. After all, no matter how hard a child pretends to be strong, he still cries when he talks about sad things. Hey, I know you want to cry, but don't cry first. Aren't you from Qingqing? Woo Qingqing. Never heard of it. Woo. Chapter 72. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Hao wiped his nose and tears while saying, I only know that everyone is not from the same place, just like Sister Sha Sha and the others, who seem to be from the imperial capital of Jingzhou. Everyone comes from all corners of the world, and inexplicably came to this town when passing through the fog, and then they can never get out again. At night, monsters will appear from the darkness to hunt people who are still wandering outside the town, but as long as you return to the house in time, close the doors and windows, and make the place where you stay a closed space, then those monsters will not be able to come in and hurt us. Oh, by the way, big brother. This kind of talisman must be hung in the room. Only in the closed space of the talisman will monsters not come in. The little boy Lin Hao took out a round stone from his pocket, and some strange patterns were engraved on the stone. Is this stone the source of your survival? Jiang Chen took the stone from the boy's hand and looked at it carefully, but did not feel the mysterious power from it. The light flashed in his eyes, and the high-dimensional perspective was activated again. Type, stone, introduction, ordinary junk, everywhere on the curb. The only difference is that it is engraved with meaningless patterns, which seems to have the function of marking. In general, it is a broken stone with graffiti. Where did you find this stone? Jiang Chen asked calmly with a thoughtful look on his face. Well, if you look carefully on the paths outside or in the woods, you can always find a few. The little boy saw Jiang Chen staring at the stone in a trance and said, in fact, everyone is also very curious about this stone. They all suspect that there is a mysterious power on this stone that can make the nightmare demons afraid. Some people even collect these stones to make weapons. hoping to use them to completely eliminate the nightmare demons and return to the real world. Humph, so funny. Expect to defeat the nightmare demon with this broken stone? It's better to expect a boar to get pregnant. Jiang Chen sneered, combining the little boy's narration with the known information obtained from his own high-dimensional perspective. Jiang Chen concluded that the time when the nightmare demon body wakes up is when the night falls. The so-called hanging stones in a confined space can effectively resist the nightmare demon's attack, but it is just a rule set by the nightmare demon body. There is no doubt that these broken stones are also made by the nightmare demon body. And the reason why the nightmare demon body wants to play with the people in this town is just to absorb the fear in everyone's hearts. Once the main body of the nightmare demon becomes powerful or reaches a certain critical point, the people in the town are just lambs to be slaughtered. They can be wiped out at will. It's a bit difficult. If I can't find the main body, I don't know what kind of strength it is, nor do I know its weaknesses. When the nightmare demon is completely out of control, I'm afraid even I can't protect myself. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen was suddenly depressed. He couldn't find a way out. Could he be trapped here to death? Wait. Since this nightmare demon has painstakingly hunted down humans to enter the town, it means that it really needs human fear. Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes. Then I will kill everyone in the town. It won't be able to absorb fear. The little boy stood aside, watching Jiang Chen thinking quietly, and always felt that the chill around him was getting stronger and stronger. He couldn't help but shiver. Big brother. Actually, you don't have to worry too much. We have thought of many ways to escape from this nightmare town. Making runestone weapons is just one of them. Sister Sha has the best hope of leading us all out. Oh, what did Tang Sha come up with? Jiang Chen came to his senses and suppressed his thoughts. He decided to observe the situation for a while. After all, if everyone really couldn't get out, it would be better to die in Jiang Chen's hands and become Jiang Chen's nourishment instead of becoming the nourishment for the nightmare demon to grow stronger. It can be regarded as a way to give them a good time. Sister Sha is a college student in the imperial capital. Unlike those of us who were forced to mistakenly enter the nightmare town, she and her companions are actually here to fight the nightmare demon. But they didn't expect that this town not only has nightmare demons, but also has its own space to trap them all here. Fight? Excuse me, with their strength, it seems a bit funny to come to the fog to fight the nightmare demon. It's not that Jiang Chen looks down on Tang Sha and the others. Except that Tang Sha's fruit ability is a bit tricky, Jiang Chen is confident that he can suppress them all if everyone else joins forces. I don't know about this. I heard from Sister Sha that they thought it was just an ordinary fog monster at the beginning, but they didn't expect it to be so difficult. They also have a teacher to lead the team, but they lost contact during the fight. Sister Sha said that her teacher is very strong, known as one of the 8 best in the world. She always believes that as long as they can hold on, the teacher will definitely save them. 8 best one. It seems that Tang Sha's background is not simple. The Han Alliance has many strong men, but there are only a few who are truly the best in the world. The most famous among them are the 3 generals of the army who are known as the strongest in the Han Alliance. The second is the 7 kings of the emperor who split the land and became kings, divided the land and governed themselves, obeyed orders but not announcements. In their territories, even the army cannot directly intervene. In addition to these generals and 7 kings, there are 8 top strong men who are not interested in power, wealth and status, but are obsessed with martial arts and are respected by the world as the 8 absolutes. Sister Sasha's method is related to her ability. She is a user of the superhuman childlike fruit, and can transform the creatures she touches into dolls. Sister Sasha found that it is actually useless to just kill the nightmares. They will turn into black mist and recondense their bodies, making them almost immortal. But dolls are different. Transforming nightmares into dolls and finally imprisoning them can greatly weaken the power of this strange town. Sister Sasha has directly transformed tens of thousands of dolls in more than a year. Everyone also found that as more and more dolls are created, the night will become shorter and shorter, and the nightmares that appear every night will become weaker and weaker. Everyone believes that as long as Sister Sasha keeps sealing, everyone will be able to return to the real world alive sooner or later. Is that so? If the nightmare sub-body is continuously sealed, the power of the main body will continue to weaken. The idea is very good. Indeed, as long as it is sealed continuously, the power of the nightmare main body will be exhausted sooner or later. This is actually similar to my plan to kill all the people in the town. However, everything has its own gains and losses, and all the gifts of fate have already been priced in secret. Just like me, Jiang Chen, if I want to gain power, I must pay the lives of others. Tang Sha wants to seal all the nightmares. With her power in the Black Iron realm, coupled with the current fruit development, it is also stretched. I am afraid that she has already reached her limit and is only one step away from collapse. It seems that we must find the main body of the nightmare before she completely collapses and leave here as soon as possible. By the way, little boy, you said that Sister Shasha's teacher talked about the 8 wonders in the world. Who is it specifically? Brother, I don't know either. I just heard Sister Shasha chatting before. His teacher's surname is Chen. He likes to build Taoist temples everywhere in the Han dynasty. The names are all the same. It seems to be called something like Jisho Temple. Chapter 73. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The drizzle in the mountains fell like silk, as if a layer of gauze covered the entire forest. The fine raindrops gently hit the leaves and flowers, making a crisp and pleasant sound. The white mist spread out, drifting in every corner of the mountain like smoke. The carefully cultivated vegetation pots looked particularly fresh and green under the nourishment of rain and mist. The raindrops fell on the petals in the pots, and the crystal-clear water droplets rolled, like pearls inlaid in them, and the green leaves were washed clean and bright by the rain. Full of green, in the Taoist temple, an old man in Taoist robes was sitting alone in the pavilion drinking tea. There is nothing else in the mountains, and the green mountains are as far as the eye can see. The old man in Taoist robes was the master of Jisho Temple who had talked with Feng Rong before. Master, since you think so highly of that little fellow named Feng Rong, why don't you lend a hand to him now that he is imprisoned? That a little Taoist boy, holding a broom taller than others, asked the old man while listlessly scratching the wet ground. The master of the temple sipped his tea and smacked his lips. He who is put to death can be reborn. This is his fate and his calamity. If he can pass it, he will be able to rise with the wind in the future, floating on the clouds and laughing at the world. If he can't pass it, it means that your master also have times when I misjudged him. He is not a child of destiny with good fortune. Okay, master, you are the one who learned it. This reason is really a panacea. That the little Taoist boy held the broom and his hands on his waist, blinking his big eyes and giving the master a thumbs up. Ahem, little kid, don't just learn these useless things. Does learning from you count as learning bad things? The old man in Taoist robes was about to teach the Taoist boy a lesson, but suddenly his expression changed. He disappeared in the blink of an eye, but appeared directly in the air like a flash, looking solemnly in the direction of the misty Great Wall. From the imperial capital to this remote town, Chen, have traveled 1,000 miles and stayed here for a year. I finally met you. Nightmare, that the old man's momentum suddenly changed. The whole person was like a towering mountain, suppressing the world. He stretched out his palm and gently closed it towards the Jisho temple below. Suddenly, 2 illusory pages appeared and wrapped the entire Jisho temple. Just like closing a book, the entire Taoist temple was folded into the pages. Wait a minute, master. I haven't held it steady yet. That the voice of the Taoist boy came out from the page at the end, and finally turned into a small volume of book emitting a hazy white light. The book came to the master of the temple with flowing light and spread out like a long scroll, constantly surrounding him. If you count carefully, there are 7 pages, but the pages are almost blank. Only the first page is engraved with 4 small seal characters. Wordless Book of Heaven. That the master of the temple, surrounded by the Book of Heaven, suddenly felt like a god, rushed into the clouds and rushed towards the direction of the fog. At this time, at the original site of the Taoist temple, some tourists who climbed the mountain road in the rain to burn incense and visit Jisho temple stared blankly at the end of the road, which was supposed to be the location of the Taoist temple, but now it was a desolate land. Yeah. How come such a big Taoist temple of mine is gone? That a year ago, with the help of Swaxiang, the master of the temple mastered the possible locations of the nightmare demon, and Qinglong was the most likely place. This nightmare demon monster that appeared in the fog was really elusive, possessed the power of moving space, wandered in the fog of various places, and was very difficult to deal with. This time, he must catch the nightmare demon. In the fog, the master Qinglong closed his eyes and his high-level observation haki covered half of the fog area with a wide range. He soon found the strange town that was out of tune with the surrounding fog. Found you. Block your retreat first. Qinglong's eyes burst into golden light, pinched the 3 pure fingers, and shouted at the strange town in the distance. Wordless Book of Heaven, Jedi Tiantong. Qinglong, one of the 8 great masters in the world, calls himself the master of Jisho temple, and has the ability of the superhuman Book of Books fruit. He can pull everything into the world of the Book of Heaven. And in the world of the Book of Heaven, he greatly weakens the opponent's strength and strengthens his own strength. Create everything in the world of the Book of Heaven with his own infinite imagination, replace the heart of heaven with his own heart. As long as he is pulled into the world of the Book of Heaven by Qinglong, he will be the master of the world of the Book of Heaven. The ceiling. And the opponent will only become a weak chicken and be slaughtered. With a wave of the sword, the book flew away as fast as a flash of light, gradually expanding in the process, and the pages that covered the sky and the sun completely enveloped the town. Even the fog was blocked out. At this time, everyone in the nightmare town knew nothing about the outside world. After a night of chatting with the little boy last night, as the night receded, the sky became clear again, and the nightmare demon's body gradually disappeared. See you. Jiang Chen walked out of the room and looked at everything in this town. As soon as he went out, he saw a little boy holding a bowl of vegetable soup carefully, walking slowly towards Jiang Chen, afraid of spilling a drop of soup. Big brother is awake. Come and eat. The little boy said while swallowing his saliva. In the nightmare town, there are no other living things except survivors and monsters. Fortunately, the land here can still grow vegetables. Fortunately, some of the survivors who came here brought vegetable seeds, otherwise, this place would probably turn into a terrifying hell on earth. Cannibalism is probably the norm. It's called vegetable soup, but in fact it's just a few green leaves with a few grains of rice visible to the naked eye. Jiang Chen was stunned, looking at the little boy treating the food in the bowl as a treasure, and inexplicably felt sad. He was so indifferent to the existence of other people's lives, and at this time he was moved with compassion. In his mind, Jiang Xiaoxiao swallowed his saliva and pushed the food to Jiang Chen. Brother, you are so tired from practicing. You eat it. Xiaoxiao is not hungry. At that time, he was the pride of the family, a genius in the eyes of everyone, and a person that the whole family had to support with all their strength. Big brother. Big brother. That the memory was interrupted by the little boy. Jiang Chen stepped forward and touched Lin Hao's little head. Thank you, Hao, but I am not hungry at all. Keep it for yourself. Jiang Chen smiled and put the bowl back into Lin Hao's hand. Big brother, I am new here, so I can't get used to the food here, but this is the best thing our family can bring out. Lin Hao pouted his little mouth and looked at Jiang Chen with big eyes in grievance. Jiang Chen was at a loss for words. Seeing the little boy's tears about to fall, he suddenly felt overwhelmed. Okay, big brother, I'm losing weight recently. How about this? I'll eat half a bowl and give you the other half. Jiang Chen half coaxed and half persuaded the little boy. Seeing Lin Hao jumping away with half a bowl of vegetable soup, he couldn't help but smiled and shook his head. This kid is so cute and difficult. At this time, Lin Hao, who was jumping with half a bowl of vegetable soup in his hand, was suddenly stopped by a group of adult men. The leader was Cheng Xian. Uncles, you are stopping Hao. What's the matter? The little boy looked at the neighbors in front of him with some fear. You are the one who gave food to that arrogant weirdo? A man with a full beard scolded the little boy, these grains are all grown by our hard work. You actually gave them to a murderer who almost killed us last night. After that, he angrily snatched the little boy's bowl and threw it heavily on the ground. No. No, those foods were grown by me, my parents and I. The little boy's tears kept falling. He felt distressed when he saw the vegetable soup splashed all over the ground. These foods could normally last the boy a day. Stop it. Xiaohao, this incident is a lesson for you. Remember, the food here belongs to everyone, no one is separated from each other, except that thug. Your family had better stay away from him. Qinglong leaned against the corner of the wall, with her forehead raised at a 45-degree angle, her expression was 3 parts cold, 3 parts ridiculed, and 4 parts indifferent. Everyone looked at this master of expression management and nodded in agreement. Chapter 74. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bullying a child is really shameful. Jiang Chen, who came over after hearing the noise, saw a group of men surrounding Lin Hao and smashing his bowl of food. It's you. The thug who almost killed all of us last night. A group of men looked at Jiang Chen warily, with anger in their expressions. If it weren't for the kind-hearted Miss Xiaoyu who turned the tide yesterday, they would probably have become the nightmare's appetizer. At this time, seeing the real owner Jiang Chen appear, he was so angry that his teeth itched. Jiang Chen ignored them and pushed everyone away to squat in front of the little boy, helping him to pick up the debris on the ground. TSK, a bunch of rubbish, if you hate me so much, I'm here, just use whatever means you have. Attacking a child, it really opened my eyes. At this time, Qinglong, who was holding a sword, shook her head and shook her flowing silver hair, then flicked it with one hand, turned around and looked at Jiang Chen handsomely. Don't be so self-righteous. Bastard. If Tang Sha hadn't stopped me last night, I would have taught you a lesson long ago. That's right. The more you talk, the angrier I get. How could Sister Sha bring someone like you back? You should have been left to die outside. With Qinglong's support, the ragged man also pointed at Jiang Chen's nose and cursed. Ha ha ha, look, wouldn't it have been better if you had done this earlier? It's disgusting to use those boring tricks. Jiang Chen spread his hands and looked at the people in front of him with a smile on his face. Bastard. A big man with a beard on his face couldn't stand Jiang Chen's arrogant smile, so he swung a shovel and was about to hit Jiang Chen with a board. The shovel seemed to be stained with fertilizer and manure left over from watering vegetables. Hey, get out. Jiang Chen looked disgusted, playing magic attack, right? With one hand, he pointed at the shovel accurately from a distance as fast as lightning, and the huge force directly made the shovel hit the man's forehead in the opposite direction. The man screamed and fell to the ground, crying with his head in his hands. His face was covered with blood and feces. The man stretched out his hands and kept grabbing his companions around him. It hurts too much, hurry, find someone to bandage me. Seeing this, everyone stepped back and covered their mouths and noses, with a hint of disgust in their eyes, fearing that they would be caught by the man. Seeing that no one paid attention, the man turned his head and looked at Qinglong again, and took advantage of his unpreparedness to hug his thighs. Master Cheng, save me. Ugh. Qinglong looked at the man with a lot of snot and tears. His left hand was bloody, and his right hand was smeared with residual juice and feces. He wiped his clothes and trousers like this, and almost vomited the overnight meal. He could no longer maintain his cool image. He tried to hold back his nausea and wanted to pull his legs out. No, take your hands away first, it's just some skin injuries. Ugh, you just need to wash it. The silver-haired handsome guy rolled his eyes with a bit of despair. Seeing this, the people around him hurried forward, wrapped his hands with clothes to separate the two, and threw the man aside, and rushed till he looked at Qinglong and asked about his health. Master Cheng, are you okay? Are you injured? Let me take care of you. The little boy Lin Hao felt sorry for the injured man who was thrown aside and no one cared about him. He stepped forward and carefully helped the injured man up, regardless of the dirt and stench. Uncle, I'll take you to the river to clean your wound. You. Looking at the little boy who had spoken ill of him before, blinking his innocent eyes at him, the big man suddenly felt ashamed, his face flushed, and he was embarrassed. I really deserve to die. Chen responded to everyone's words with disdain. When he turned his head, Jiang Chen looked at them with a smile, and immediately felt insulted. You bastard! You dare to commit murder in front of me! Today I must teach you a lesson. Chen pushed everyone away, drew out the sword with a cold light and pointed it at Jiang Chen. Today I will let you see my unique martial arts. 9 Flying Dragon Sword Techniques. What? Master Cheng is actually going to use ancient martial arts. Oh my god, this is an ancient martial arts technique that only the proud students in universities and the powerful people can master, in addition to the 6 universal martial arts that are everywhere. Master Cheng is indeed born into a noble family. I heard that he is still a college student. Hearing the passers-by commentators next to him praising Chen who was arrogant on the opposite side, Jiang Chen was stunned. Ancient martial arts. I really haven't encountered it. Hearing Jiang Chen's words, Chen regained his high-handed indifference. Which country bumpkin came out of a poor village? Today I will let you see what ancient martial arts are. So that you know that you are just a frog in the well who can't see the big tree. After speaking, Chen flicked a finger on the sword, and the crisp sword sounded. The cold eyes just stare at with the long sword in hand, a pretentious aura of a peerless master came over. My name is Chen, and the ancient martial arts I learned are called the 9-style Flying Dragon Sword Technique. I am also quite famous in the university. People nicknamed me the Dragon Slayer. Martial arts. It is a powerful technique that allows people to defeat the strong with the weak. 2 opponents of the same strength, physique, and fruit are similar. The one who masters the stronger martial arts will be the final winner. Li Chungang, one of the 8 great masters in the world, once said that physical skills are the ultimate force that determines victory or defeat. You, who came from a poor and remote village, probably haven't heard of these, right? You probably haven't even been to university. This is what I heard from close range when Li Jianxian came to our university for a lecture. Chen eyes were full of sneer. Now, tell me your name. I am Chen, the Dragon Slayer swordsman, and I never kill unknown people with my sword. Jiang Chen spread his hands. Jiang Chen, nicknamed Qinglong. Chapter 75. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ha! Qinglong. Just hearing this name indicates that you will be defeated by my sword today. After that, Chen held the sword and performed a sword dance, the first move of the 9 flying dragon moves. A new beginning. The second move, 2 sleeves of clean wind. Isn't it, your master Chen, always so funny? Boy! What do you know? It's your honor to let you see such a beautiful and brilliant swordsmanship. That's right, if you are lucky enough to learn a move, you can go home and be happy. The group of big men looked at Jiang Chen with contempt, and then kept clapping and cheering for Chen. Damn. Crazy, a group of crazy people with problems in their brains. I feel that you must be scolding me. Watch this. The 4th move. Ambush from all sides. Chen stabbed Jiang Chen with a sword, and the sword shadow strangely split into 2, and then turned into 4. The 4 sword shadows were real and fake, and it was difficult to tell the real from the fake. Hee hee. This move of mine looks like one sword, but in fact, 4 sword lights are fired at the same time. It seems to be fake, but it's all real. Let's see how you can break it. Chen looked at Jiang Chen and smiled jokingly. Extremely boring. Let me teach you. Everyone is an ant under the domineering aura. Only the domineering aura is the power that transcends everything. Jiang Chen stretched out his palm, and the dark-armed color domineering aura was wrapped around it. He directly grasped the sharp sword tip and sparks flew. What? How could it be, that is, domineering? Before Chen showed a horrified expression, Jiang Chen's other hand directly opened left and right, and kept flapping his big nose bag at Qingxian's cheek. Ah! Bastard! How dare you humiliate me like this? Qingxian swung the sword with all her strength to force Jiang Chen back, her expression full of grief and anger. Don't think you're so great just because you're domineering. You're so young, I don't believe how strong your domineering is. Thank you for the compliment. Who complimented you? The 9th move of the 9 flying dragon sword technique. 9-9 return to the origin. Qingxian turned over and jumped to distance herself, her whole body full of energy. The long sword in her hand kept ringing, and she threw it towards Jiang Chen and turned it into a flying sword. The flying sword was divided into 9 in the air, and the light was shining. The sharp sword energy crisscrossed the walls, the ground, and the trees suddenly appeared with dense sword marks. The moment it approached Jiang Chen, the 9 swords suddenly merged into one. The sword energy on the long sword increased sharply. A dragon-shaped sword energy shadow roared down, and its sound resounded through the sky. Sure. This is totally different from the rubbish black iron I've seen before. The physique and physical skills are not on the same level. Who do you think I am? I'm a college student. Humph, the results are the same, what's the difference? Iron block immovable as a mountain. Jiang Chen motionlessly used the strongest illusion iron block, but felt unsafe and immediately applied a thin layer of domineering, intending to feel the power from the college students head-on. Cheap iron block is just iron block, why are you pretending? Immovable as a mountain. The name is quite good, I also opened the sky gate with one sword. Qingxian complained to Jiang Chen crazily. Jiang Chen's old face turned red, and he was immediately angry and embarrassed. Very good, you succeeded in irritating me. The long dragon-shaped sword energy collided fiercely with Jiang Chen like a comet hitting the earth. The violent explosion roared throughout the town. The strong air wave swept in all directions. The adult men who had been watching before were blown all over the place. Dizzy. The unknown survivors in the distance looked at the direction of the explosion with a puzzled look on their faces. What happened? The gas tank exploded. Tang Sha, who had rested for a night, also heard the dragon-like violent explosion. She said to herself, "Oh no," and hurried to the scene. She heard that it was Qingxian's 9-style flying dragon sword technique with all her strength. At this time, Jiang Chen pressed Qingxian against the wall, and his palms kept shooting at him left and right, constantly giving him big cunts. Do you accept it? Ah. At this time, the silver-haired handsome guy had already become a silver-haired pig head. I don't accept it. Jiang Chen, I remember every big joke of yours deeply in my heart. Even if you have already hit me with 800 big cunts, what can you do? I, Qingxian, am upright, I just don't accept it. Good. You have backbone. After saying that, Jiang Chen changed his hand and continued to hit Qingxian with big cunts. Wait, brother, 1,600 bastards are here, I'm so awful. The silver-haired handsome guy Qingxian, who was beaten dizzy, with lifeless eyes and drooling and giggling non-stop, leaned against the wall like a pile of mud, as if he had been played to pieces. Humph, you're so horny, you deserve to be punished. I'll protect that little boy, and from now on, if anyone dares to bully him, you'll end up like him. Got it. Jiang Chen pointed at Qingxian and threatened the trembling big men hugging each other. Yes, Mr. Jiang is right, we absolutely dare not bully little boys again. How? You know, why don't you get out now? Yes, I'll get out now. After saying that, the confused man shrank and rolled out. Seeing this, the others were stunned for a moment, not knowing whether to leave or get out. What are you doing? Take your eldest son away with you. Hearing Jiang Chen's words, everyone lifted up Qingxian and fled. Tang Sha also happened to appear at this time. Seeing this scene, she was also slightly stunned. Your Excellency made such a big fuss, it's too much. Jiang Chen rolled his eyes. Why are you pretending? You came a long time ago. When you saw me slapping his big nose, didn't you enjoy it very much? Ah. Tang Sha blushed immediately after being exposed by Jiang Chen. During this period, she was indeed dissatisfied with her brother and Qinglong, who grew up with her, but she couldn't get angry because of the relationship. Watching Jiang Chen slap one by one, Tang Sha inexplicably felt a sense of empathy, as if she was Jiang Chen, slapping Chen Qingxin's big nose fiercely, and enjoying it in her heart. Chapter 76. You are listening at novelfull.audio. We are all survivors trapped here. I just want to say that one more person means one more power. It is impossible for any one person to leave this town alone. Jiang Chen, you and your companions are very strong. If we work together, we will definitely have a chance to get out. Tang Sha looked at Jiang Chen with hope. Rely on your fruit. The nightmare demons that are constantly sealed by you. That's right. Over the past year, as I have been sealing nightmare demons, I can clearly feel that the power of this town is gradually weakening. Each of those dolls that I sealed carries the power of the town. If these things don't return to darkness one day, the town will never get its own power back. Just keep those dolls. Sooner or later, the town will collapse on its own. I have a hunch that that day is not far away, so, I need your strength. Tang Sha took Jiang Chen to a basement and opened the door. Inside was a densely packed basement with tens of thousands of dolls tied up. Oh, Ultraman, Ragdoll Bear, Buzz Lightyear. Toys that should be cute and interesting now have hideous faces and make silent roars. What do you think, Mr. Jiang? Are there any other options? Happy cooperation. Happy cooperation. Jiang Chen and Tang Sha held each other's hands. Oh, by the way, I'd like to ask, I heard that after eating the childish fruit, the body will have sequelae, and the appearance will always remain at the moment of eating the fruit. I wonder if it is true. Jiang Chen looked at Tang Sha's beautiful face and her body that was so flat that it was difficult to tell the front and back, and asked with some doubts. Humph. Mr. Jiang should think more about how to get through the next dark night. Tang Sha, who suddenly became angry, turned cold and left angrily. Tsk. Poor. Jiang Chen shook his head and looked at her back with some regret. Back in his room, Jiang Chen planned to break through the realm. In this place, the stronger the strength, the better. Looking at Ultraman Duan Lang, who was tightly tied to the chair, the corner of his mouth grinned, revealing a devilish smile. Turn off the light. I want you to help me practice. Woo. Hearing this, the Ultraman doll seemed to sense something and struggled frantically, but it was a pity that it was useless. His talent can constantly deprive others of their power, but it can't help him break through the realm. This is why he left Duan Lang instead of killing him. His 6 dimensions have reached the limit of this level. Sitting cross-legged, Jiang Chen sensed the subtle but real spiritual factors in his body. With a high-dimensional perspective, he looked inside himself. Jiang Chen could clearly see the spiritual factors emitting little starlight scattered in the acupuncture points and veins around his body. If you can sense, you can control. If ordinary people want to break through the realm, they first need to calmly and carefully sense the spiritual fluctuations in their bodies. The more spiritual energy they sense, the more spiritual energy they can manipulate. When you break through, the obstacles will become smaller. This spiritual energy is like water flow, and the realm barrier is like a dam. Those who rush down with the water of a river and those who rush down with a trickle are completely two different concepts. With the help of a high-dimensional perspective, Jiang Chen directly skipped this step and mastered the movements of all the spiritual energy factors in his body. The spiritual energy factors he mastered are like a vast ocean. The second step of this breakthrough is to find the way. The realm barrier is like an unknown place, hidden somewhere in the body, and it is difficult to find the trace. For ordinary people to break through, they need to stabilize their loneliness and concentrate their minds, and manipulate the spiritual energy torrent to find an exit in the complex maze-like veins of the body. Find the pass. If you find the wrong one or your mind is unstable and you can't control it, the meridians will be broken at the least and you will be seriously injured, or you will die suddenly, which is very dangerous. Therefore, realm breakthrough is a big deal. Normal people will make all-out plans, find a quiet place, and have the protection of a protector before they dare to take risks. After all, it takes more than 10 days and a half months to break through the second step of seeking the way. Jiang Chen doesn't have that much time, but he has a cheat. The high-dimensional perspective is like the Beidou navigation satellite. GPS positioning real-time navigation planning route, directly in one step. Jiang Chen manipulates the massive spiritual energy torrent and starts a wild journey on the unmanned highway, so this is how the high-dimensional perspective is used. Sorry, I blamed you wrongly. I always thought you were just a fancy name, but in fact, it was just a broken detection skill. Soon, time came to night, and the sky of the town was once again covered by 2 moons. Every household locked the doors and windows to guard against the temptation of monsters, and the house where Jiang Chen is, that is, where Tang Sha and Qing Xian and others live, is the center of the entire town. After all, the tens of thousands of dolls are in the basement of this building. Dong dong dong. Dong dong dong. In the quiet night, the sound of the window banging woke up Xiao Yu, who was sleeping soundly. She rubbed her sleepy eyes and turned her head to see an old man holding flowers outside the window, looking at her kindly. Grandma. I saw my grandma. This must be a dream. Xiao Yu looked at the old man in disbelief. My dear great-granddaughter, open the window quickly. Grandma, I'm so cold. Look, this is the flower I picked for you, do you like it? The old man's kind and gentle voice echoed in Xiao Yu's ears, as if there was a kind of magic, tempting Xiao Yu to approach step by step. Grandma, Yu misses you so much. Sob, I've been in this barren town for almost a year, I can't stand it anymore. With tears on her face, Xiao Yu looked at the familiar old man outside the window, and stroked his face through the window. The remaining rationality in her heart still made her hold back from opening the window. She didn't quite understand the current situation. After all, she had been here for so long, and she had never heard that the nightmare could transform into the appearance of her relatives, which made her a little hesitant. Good girl, my great-granddaughter, everyone has been looking for you for a year. I, your great-grandmother, also came here accidentally, just to take you home. The girl Xiao Yu, who was still on guard, asked, Grandma, you have always loved me since I was a child. Do you know what I like to eat the most? Naughty, of course it's the locust flour cake made by Grandma herself. You are really my great-grandmother. Xiao Yu was very excited when she heard this. She had never revealed this secret in the town. This is a secret that only she and her great-grandmother know. Xiao Yu was about to open the window, but her body was still giving out vague warnings, as if telling Xiao Yu that she seemed to have forgotten some details. The door of the room was suddenly pushed open, and Tang Feng, who heard the noise, rushed in. Don't open the window. Xiao Yu. Brother Tang Feng, that's my great-grandmother. With tears in her eyes, Xiao Yu looked at Tang Feng in a trance and said. Xiao Yu. Don't be fooled by it. Your great-grandmother died a long time ago. I accompanied you to the funeral. Also. This is the 5th floor. A word awakened the dreamer. Xiao Yu came back to her senses immediately, and those inexplicably lost memories were returning quickly. Yes. My great-grandmother died a long time ago. Who are you? Xiao Yu looked at the old man teasing her outside the window in shock and anger. She didn't realize that the window had already revealed a gap under her fiddling. The old man outside the window smiled strangely. Chapter 77. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Behind the old man, in the dark night, a pair of eyes glowing green quietly opened. Not good. Tang Feng rushed forward to close the window, but it was a pity that he was a step too late. The old man's dead wood-like fingers had already pried open the window before him, and he bent his body and got in. My good great-granddaughter, the room is so warm, let the great-grandma hug you. You are not the great-grandma at all. You monster. Xiao Yu kept retreating, her body trembling constantly, and for a moment, she even lost the consciousness of fighting. Don't be afraid, Xiao Yu, brother Tang Feng will protect you. Tang Feng slapped the old man on the head, and directly beat the monster into its hideous prototype and repelled it aside. Then he handsomely held Xiao Yu in his arms and said to her gently, "Xiao Yu, are you okay?" "Brother Tang Feng, you are awesome." Xiao Yu lay in Tang Feng's arms with a shy face and her cheeks flushed a little. "Don't worry, Xiao Yu, where Brother Tang Feng is, he will definitely protect you." "Brother Tang Feng. Sister Xiao Yu." The two of them were so affectionate as if no one was around, not caring about the broken window and the monsters that kept pouring in. The monsters tilted their heads, and seemed to be a little confused about the reaction of these two humans. Roar! A roar broke the strange and warm scene. At this time, the two people who were so attached to each other also found that this was not a good place to talk about love. Tang Feng pulled Xiao Yu up and was about to escape the encirclement of the monsters. Sickles wind blade dancing. As Tang Feng waved his hand, countless sickle-shaped wind blades shot out from his palms crazily to the surroundings. For a while, the monsters couldn't get close. The vibration caused by the sickle wind blade hitting the wall also woke up the people who were sleeping. Taking advantage of the gap, Tang Feng picked up Xiao Yu and rushed out of the room. For some reason, this time the nightmare demon suddenly became extremely powerful. Tang Feng could feel that a wind blade could usually cut the monster in half, but now it only had a knockback effect. Without time to think, Tang Feng just wanted to take Xiao Yu out of the house. As for the life and death of other people in the house, he didn't care. A nightmare suddenly appeared at the door in front, and its bone-like palm stretched straight towards Xiao Yu in Tang Feng's arms. Tang Feng secretly said, "Oh no." He turned around and used his back to resist the attack. With a puff, the bone spur pierced through his chest. "Brother Tang Feng." Xiao Yu in his arms was frightened and lost his mind. "Xiao Yu, run away. I'll cover you." Tang Feng, who was coughing up blood, used the power of the superhuman sickle fruit to smash the sneak-attacking nightmare with one blow. "Yes. Got it, Brother Tang Feng." Xiao Yu, with tears in his eyes, ran away reluctantly. Tang Feng, half kneeling on the ground, looked at Xiao Yu who was running away, and laughed bitterly. You must be happy." Tang Sha, who led everyone to come at this time, was shocked. The sword moves were sharp and the sword energy was crisscrossed to kill the nightmare demon. He came to Tang Feng. "Brother. What's going on? How are you so badly injured? How did the nightmare demon attack in?" "Ahem. Tang Sha. What time is it? Your brother is almost seriously injured and dying. Why don't you save me out?" Tang Feng coughed up blood and complained to Tang Sha. Helplessly, Tang Sha helped Tang Feng up, fighting and retreating, and everyone also fought with these nightmare demons. As they fought, everyone found something wrong. "Miss Tang. This nightmare demon is wrong. It has become so strong. Everyone can't hold on. Several survivors have died tragically at the hands of the nightmare demon. Oh no. We are surrounded here. We must break out of the encirclement to survive. But once we leave here, once the dolls in the basement are discovered by the nightmare demon, the consequences will be disastrous. A year of hard work will go to waste." Tang Sha was in a dilemma at this time. After a little thought, she chose to protect everyone's lives. Fortunately, there is always a talisman stone in the basement. As long as no one opens it, everything will be fine. Everyone, listen to me. Break out to the east. Tang Sha commanded everyone to fight and retreat. Lin Hao's family was originally ordinary people. At this time, they were mixed in a panicked crowd and could only barely keep up with the pace of the large army. On the other side, Xiao Yu ran frantically with the ball and didn't know where to go. Suddenly, his IQ was online. He realized that his candle fruit ability could build a closed space by himself. He immediately felt relieved and found that his talisman stone was lost. He was anxious for a while. When he saw the entrance to the basement in front, he suddenly thought of something. At this time, Jiang Chen was still rushing through the pass. Jiang Chen, who was able to use his power in two ways, had already sensed the chaos outside the door. His observation hockey sensed that everyone was fighting and retreating. In the blink of an eye, he was the only one left in this residence. He secretly thought that he was unlucky. Knock, 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 there was a knock on the door. Good evening, sir inside. I'm here to deliver the takeaway. If you don't open the door, I'll come in. With his eyes closed, Jiang Chen knew what was outside. I know, don't knock, don't worry, I will open the door for you in 10 minutes. After hearing that, there was really no movement outside the door. Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh, is this nightmare so polite? You should know that there is actually no talisman hanging in his room. If the nightmare really wants to come in, the wooden door is useless. At this time, Jiang Chen can naturally interrupt the breakout at any time. In the eyes of others, the so-called severe rupture of tendons and veins and irreparable internal injuries are just a little more blood loss in Jiang Chen's eyes, but he can't bear to do it. He has been driving all night and is about to reach the finish line. It would be a big loss to give up now. Don't worry, I will personally see you off in 10 minutes. Chapter 78. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the street, a monster that looked like a strange species was revealed. It was on all fours, spitting out a long scarlet tongue, and pounced on the crowd like a ghost. Tang Xia struggled to smash the monster in front of her. Her body was covered with the monster's blood, she was breathing heavily, and the cold light on the sword blade was flickering. Qinglong, whose face was still swollen, was also fighting bloody with Tang Feng on her back. Tang Feng, you are still alive, right? Ahem, don't worry, I can still hold on. It's good that you are not dead. If you are not dead, can you come down and walk a few steps? It's heavy for me to carry you. Qinglong, who had just used a sword to cross the 8 directions, stuck out her tongue and said breathlessly to Tang Feng on her shoulder. Ahem, stop talking nonsense, stop fighting, break out quickly, what does the life and death of those ordinary people have to do with us? Tang Feng coughed, and a mouthful of blood foam just sprayed on Qinglong's face, and then shouted to Tang Xia who was fighting in the distance, stop fighting. There is no way to kill all the monsters. Breaking out of the encirclement is the most important thing. Hearing Tang Feng's words, Tang Xia struggled, looking at the survivors who were still struggling nearby. Many familiar faces in the past had already turned into cold corpses, and her heart was broken for a moment, knowing that her physical strength was exhausted and the fruit ability had reached its limit, she could not save everyone. Tang Xia closed her eyes, and when she opened them again, she had regained her calmness and decisiveness. She directly grabbed the thin mother and daughter closest to her, took a breath and jumped to escape the siege of the nightmare demon. I'm sorry. I can't save everyone, I can only try my best to save those I can save. Tang Xia looked gloomy, and with an extremely guilty heart, she no longer looked at other people who were still struggling. At this time, Tang Feng rode Qinglong and also fought his way out of a bloody road and fled. The survivors with some ability and vision fled frantically along the gap. Lin Hao's family was also in this group of refugees. How? Hurry, hold your mother's hand tightly. The gentle woman had already lost her usual dignity and elegance at this time, and she pulled Lin Hao's hand hard and rushed towards the gradually shrinking exit. Get out of the way. You bitch. You are blocking my way. A strong man who was running for his life saw the family of 3 in front of him and his eyes suddenly lit up. He kicked the woman behind him when she was not prepared. Ha, I'd rather die than die. I will remember the good things about your family. Caught off guard, the woman fell to the ground with a cry of pain. Mom! Lin Hao cried, his little face full of fear and terror. You bastard! Lin's father angrily grabbed the man's sleeve and punched him in the cheek. Let go, bastard. The exit is about to close. Dream on. If you want us to die, you can't live either. Hearing this, the madman went completely berserk and took out a dagger, stabbing Father Lin in the stomach dozens of times. Father Lin fell to the ground with his eyes blank, his clothes soaked with blood, and red and white things flowed out of the wound. Dad! Husband! that the little boy hugged his father's body helplessly, his mouth opened and his young face was full of silent screams, his hands and feet trembled, and he was at a loss. The woman was pale and heartbroken. She dragged her heavy body step by step to the man's side, stroking the man's gradually stopped heartbeat, and her eyes gradually became dull. Survivors kept passing by, but no one came to help. Every survivor who passed the family of 3 actually felt a little happy, as if he could live one more second if he passed one more person. The gentle woman forced a smile and wiped away the tears from the trembling little boy's eyes. How, don't be afraid, be good, listen to your mother, do you see the gap in front, run over. Mom, let's go. The little boy couldn't wipe away his tears no matter how hard he tried, and shook his head frantically. Be good, Mom will play a game with you. Don't look back. Let's see who reaches the finish line first. How fast you run, Mom will run that fast. If you don't want Mom to be caught up by the monster, you have to run faster. How, don't make Mom angry. Run forward and don't stop. As long as you run to the finish line, Mom will appear in front of you. Woo, I don't want to make Mom angry. The woman pushed the little boy to the exit with force. Lin Hao gasped heavily, his lungs were like burning. He closed his eyes and cried while sprinting forward with his short legs. The woman hugged her husband's body tightly, watching the boy running with gentle eyes, with no joy or sadness on her face. I'm sorry, how, Mom has to go to accompany Dad. The torrent of monsters came in an instant, swallowing up the couple in the blink of an eye. Run faster. Run faster. The little boy's tears fell like rain, and suddenly a huge sadness swallowed everything of him, almost making him unable to breathe. Suction. His remaining will urged him to keep running, not daring to look back, but the little boy, who was only 7 or 8 years old, had already fallen to the end of the team. How fast could he run? A terrifying hissing sounded behind the boy, and the figure of the monster appeared beside the little boy. How? Lower your head. A strong man with a bandage on his head and a shovel in his hand suddenly came in the opposite direction. Lin Hao instinctively lowered his head, and a strong wind passed by and hit the monster behind Lin Hao fiercely. It was the uncle who was beaten by Jiang Chen and was helped by Lin Hao to heal his wounds before, who stood between the monster and the little boy. Uncle! Why are you standing there? Hurry up. The strong man swung the shovel vigorously. Want to buy time for the little boy to escape, hot-headed? Maybe. The strong man couldn't help but chuckle. A man like him who lived a life of shamelessness would one day pick up his conscience again because of a boy's innocent smile. I've had enough of this life. Nightmare. Today I want to be a hero. After saying that, he rushed into the red stream composed of hundreds of nightmares without hesitation. Sometimes the courage of 1 against 100 is also better than the strength of 100 against 1. The little boy stood there in a daze. His voice had long been hoarse from crying, and his tears had long been dried. He turned back. The brave strong man finally fell to the ground after supporting for a few seconds. The lonely little boy stood quietly in the middle of the hunting ground like a desert. Mom, the hoarse voice echoed in the sky. Hey! Jiang Chen in the room suddenly opened his eyes, stood up and interrupted the charge directly. There was a muffled sound in his body, and Jiang Chen's life value suddenly dropped sharply. Only a dozen seconds away. Jiang Chen thought to himself that it was a pity, but his body directly broke through the fragile wall, and rushed towards the little boy at a razor-sharp speed. A breath of hot air from afar was like a bright meteor in the dark night, spraying into the monster group and directly sweeping away the monsters around the little boy. Flying to the side of Lin Hao, who had a dull look, Jiang Chen gently picked him up and sighed silently. The hearts of mortals are more dangerous than mountains and rivers, and it is more difficult to know the sky. Let me play with you. Chapter 79. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In a moment, the monsters were flying around. Jiang Chen's domineering hands were enough to split gold and stone. Just a casual palm could crack the monster's head. The survivors in the distance turned their heads and saw that the torrent of nightmares was stopped by one person. Seeing Jiang Chen surrounded by monsters like a tiger into a flock of sheep, they were all dumbfounded. unfortunately, these monsters are just derivatives of the nightmare body and cannot provide Jiang Chen with deprivation power. With a palm sweeping across, the violent force directly smashed the nightmare, blocking the road in front, passing by a man kneeling on the ground with bandages on his head. He was bleeding and his left arm was bitten off, but he was still alive. Jiang Chen recognized him. This was the man he had taught a lesson during the day. Ahem. It's rare that you are not destined to die. The man lay weakly on the ground and sighed. If you still have strength, follow me. Jiang Chen whispered to the man without stopping. The man knew that this was his only way to survive. He took a deep breath, struggled to get up and followed closely. When he came to the remains of the boy's parents, Jiang Chen covered Lin Hao's eyes, opened his mouth and spit out a flame that swept over the couple's bodies and turned them into ashes. He hastily smashed a pit to bury them, which was also a way to deal with their funeral. Lin Hao's face was pale, his eyes were blank and he lowered his head. Looking at the little boy who seemed to have lost his spirit, Jiang Chen knew that this was not a predicament that could be solved by any words of comfort. It could only be erased bit by time. All he could do was try his best to save an innocent life. Big brother, I don't have parents anymore. Why? My parents taught me to be kind and helpful since I was a child. Why do they still bully me? Kindness is a virtue. It can represent a person's nobility, but it has nothing to do with fate. How, your parents are gone. There will never be anyone in this world who will truly care for you. You can only rely on yourself. You must remember, repaying grievances with virtue. How to repay virtue? Repaying grievances with justice, repaying virtue with virtue. Jiang Chen's cold and sonorous words echoed in Lin Hao's ears, without taking care of his fragile heart at all. Sometimes, the worst thing for this person is that his family is not well off and his family education is too good. In this way, Jiang Chen led the two of them to walk on the street, with slow steps, and every nightmare demon who wanted to pounce on him was turned into pieces in a head-on collision with Jiang Chen. A body that is more brutal than a monster is Jiang Chen's strongest weapon. After slapping the head of a nightmare demon with a slap again, Jiang Chen walked to the new gathering place of the survivors. Open the door. Jiang Chen said two words gently. The voice was mixed with indifference and ruthlessness, which made everyone inside shudder. Unlike the last time when Jiang Chen wanted to enter the house, this time, everyone opened the door and took the three people into the house. It was because of Jiang Chen's terrifying, bloody and brutal fighting style that stunned the survivors who knew how to survive. Jiang Chen, it's great that everyone can survive. Tang Shasha said with a sad tone and a depressed look. Humph, lucky. I actually want to know what this inexplicable monster siege is all about. Yes. Who caused all this? Who opened the door to those monsters? That the survivors were furious and were determined to settle everything. Jiang Chen was also very annoyed. The very perfect plan to break through the level was shattered on this night. There was a poor boy who lost his parents overnight. Countless people died tragically on the streets, and those who survived were covered in scars, some even missing arms and legs. Sister Sha. As our recognized leader, you must find the murderer and bring justice. As everyone started to discuss, all the accusations were finally directed at Tang Feng. When the monster entered the room and we heard the noise, the first person we saw was Tang Feng. Tang Feng, what happened at that time? Hearing the questioning of the crowd, Tang Feng sneered while lying on the stretcher. Many survivors who looked like doctors were bandaging him to stop the bleeding. Why do you doubt me? I was shot through the chest in order to fight against the nightmare demon. I almost died. If it was a few centimeters off, my heart would have exploded. If it weren't for the protection of us powerful people, you would have died long ago. What qualifications do you weaklings have to question me? Ahem. Tang Sha. Look, this is the person you are trying so hard to protect. I told you a long time ago that these people are not relatives or friends. They are not the same kind of people as us. Shut up. Tang Feng. Tang Feng was operating while confronting everyone. The doctor next to him was sweating profusely. Don't talk, Mr. Tang, you are in danger now and your life is in danger at any time. My stitches are almost crooked. This, public is public, private is private, we just want to know, this time the reason for the nightmare demon's attack, how did they break through the rune stone room, why did the monster appear in Miss Yu's room, what's wrong with us wanting to know the truth? How should I know this? As soon as I entered Xiao Yu's room, cracks and gaps appeared on the wall. It must be that the house has been in disrepair for a long time. Let the monster take advantage of it. Tang Feng's eyes evaded, and he was still a little guilty. Then he told the doctor and the team that his chest hurt and he was going to die, trying to get away with it. But everyone didn't give him a chance. I'm a bricklayer, I just painted this house once before. There will definitely be no problem with cracks in the wall. Yes. I also entered Miss Xiao Yu's room during the previous breakout. Except for the broken window, everything was fine. Tang Feng. What are you hiding? I think it was you and that woman who were inadvertently tempted to open the window that led to this disaster. Don't slander me. This matter has nothing to do with Xiao Yu. Yes, I did it all by myself. I saw that I was too grandma, okay. Tang Feng, who was furious, got up on the spot and shouted hoarsely after saying this. The wound on his chest was torn open again, and blood spurted out, splashing all over the doctor's face. Looking at the excited crowd, Tang Sha had to come out to defend. Everyone, listen to me, but please wait, we must not fight among ourselves now. My brother made a mistake. After everyone leaves the town in the future, I will definitely give everyone an explanation. No. Tang Feng must be severely punished. Give us an explanation. Don't you think so, Mr. Jiang? A tall man stood up and shouted, not glancing at Jiang Chen. Survivors with low strength like them usually don't dare to shout at Tang Sha so confidently, but Jiang Chen's appearance gave some people an opportunity to gain benefits. Tang Sha, Qing Xian and others also looked at Jiang Chen. Since Tang Feng has admitted it, what else is there to say? Talk to me about compensation to make up for my losses some other day. Jiang Chen could see that this disaster was probably caused by Tang Feng and others, and the remaining survivors were mixed, with their own thoughts, and even dared to use him as a gun, but Jiang Chen didn't care. Although he failed to break through the barrier, his losses were almost zero except for his bad mood, but he was very interested in the ancient martial arts mastered by Tang Sha and others. If he didn't use them himself, it would be good to let his subordinates use them in the future. Hearing Jiang Chen's words, Tang Sha and others breathed a sigh of relief. It would be best to solve it peacefully. They were afraid that Jiang Chen would start a massacre if they disagreed with him. Yes, Mr. Jiang is right, Miss Tang. You must compensate us for our losses. The strong man licked his lips, imagining his days of plenty in this desperate town, and didn't notice that Lin Hao in Jiang Chen's arms was staring at him with hatred. What does the compensation between Miss Tang and me have to do with you? You are the first one who dares to use me as a gun. He is the murderer who killed my parents. Lin Hao suddenly shouted, waving his hands wildly at the sturdy man, and the boy's anger was beyond words. What a coincidence, isn't it? Enemies often meet on a narrow road. Jiang Chen walked towards the sturdy man. Wait. It's all a misunderstanding. The sturdy man was shocked, and at this time he also found that the little boy was still alive, and he was immediately annoyed that he was too gentle. Jiang directly picked up the sturdy man with one hand. You live by cheating people's parents, go out and pay your debts. Why? Why are you upholding justice at this time? You didn't speak for us in front of Tang Feng. Now you come to embarrass me, a small person. That the sturdy man struggled frantically, pulled out the short knife he had used before and kept slashing at Jiang Chen's arm, but it was useless, and even the blade was cracked by Jiang Chen's skin. Justice? What justice? I like Lin Hao, it's that simple. After saying that, without waiting for the sturdy man to react, he opened the door and threw him out directly. In the darkness, like bait falling into a fish pond, pairs of nightmares with dark green eyes pounced on it. No. Don't. I was wrong. Save me, I'm not willing. The fear spread, and the sturdy man's begging for mercy resounded through the street until it stopped. Everyone felt a chill in their hearts. Clapping his hands, Jiang Chen sat down as if nothing had happened, and smiled at Tang Feng. "If I'm not satisfied with your compensation, your fate will be the same as his." Tang Feng was sweating profusely, and looked at Qinglong and Tang Sha for help. Both of them were silent. Now they are the strongest. One Tang Feng is seriously injured and lying on a stretcher, one Xiao Yu is missing and temporarily missing, one Tang Sha is almost at the limit, and one Qinglong was beaten into a pig head by Jiang Chen during the day. Jiang Chen is the strongest existence in this town. It can be said that everyone present is now controlled by Jiang Chen. This is something that anyone with a discerning eye can see. Tang Feng was dejected. "Whatever Mr. Jiang said is what it is. As long as I have it, Mr. Jiang can take it." That even as proud as Tang Feng had to bow his head at this time. "Very good. There is an old saying in the Han dynasty that a man who knows the current situation is a hero. I am very interested in your ancient martial arts. I believe you will not let me down." Ancient martial arts. This is a secret that the university absolutely prohibits from being passed on. If it is discovered, it will be troublesome. Look at you, you are anxious again. Do you want to die now? Now, write it down for me. You, okay, but I am seriously injured and dying. I am afraid I can't finish writing down my own ancient martial arts. My sister Tang Sha also learned ancient martial arts. I asked her to give you her ancient martial arts. Brother, what are you talking about? You are afraid of being discovered in the future, but I am not afraid. The university has extremely strict control requirements for ancient martial arts. Once it is discovered that their students are privately teaching martial arts, they will be expelled from the college and drop out. We are a family. What are you talking about? Do you want to see your brother die? Help me again, my sister. Tang Sha was completely disappointed with Tang Feng's shamelessness. Okay. I'll give it to you. But remember, if Tang Feng says I'm your sister again in the future, I won't tolerate you as my brother anymore. Tang Feng's chest trembled again when he heard the words. Sha. Stop it. Qinglong wanted to dissuade them, but she didn't know that this word completely angered Tang Sha. She slapped Qinglong in the face with her backhand, and half of her cheek turned red. Her face, which was already swollen like a pig's head, was immediately made worse. Stop it. Stop it. When something happens, you just tell me to stop it every day. I've had enough. Is your brain full of water? If you don't have eyes and can't see the situation clearly, go get treatment. You just tell me to stop it. You must have read the domineering CEO novel and you're stupid. Screw your sister. Dragon Slayer Qinglong looked at Tang Sha who was really angry. At this time, she was also trembling with her face and holding the sword. Sha, that. I won't make trouble. But you can't insult the novels I like to read. Damn. Tang Sha held her forehead. Jiang Chen was reading with relish, and his hand was missing 2 handfuls of melon seeds. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and an explosion occurred in the direction of the previous residence. Tang Sha and Jiang Chen looked at each other. That's the direction of the basement. In the sky, tens of thousands of dolls were slowly rising into the sky under the traction of an unknown force. Finally, they sank into darkness. Not good. The nightmare in the doll is turning into the power of the town again. How could it be? There is a talisman in the basement. Tang Sha looked anxious and confused. Once the doll returns completely, all the painstaking efforts of this year will be in vain. Jiang Chen ignored Tang Sha's despair, staring blankly at the 2 full moons in the sky, and said solemnly, "So you have been in the sky all the time." In Jiang Chen's vision, a high-dimensional perspective emerged. Type, nightmare, severely injured. Introduction, a terrifying monster that roams through the fog, devouring the 7 emotions and 6 desires of all living beings as food. With the great power of shuttling through space, with a huge body, it can devour the land of a city and form its own space inside. It is a translucent entity. It can differentiate into sub-bodies to hunt creatures, affected by unknown forces. Now its strength is declining, and its life has suffered a severe blow. Spatial ability is suppressed. So that's it. It seems that the opportunity to get out has come. What time is it? What are you talking about? Tang Shasha looked at Jiang Chen, who was talking nonsense, with a puzzled look on his face. I say, our chance to get out has come. Do you see the moon in the sky? That's its eye. What? Chapter 80. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Whose eyes? Idiot, who else could it belong to? It must be the mastermind behind all this, the source of power in the town, the real master of the nightmare. Listen, now is his weakest time, take out your strongest trump card to attack the moon in the sky. Jiang Chen shouted at Tang Shasha. Who are you calling stupid? Tang Shasha gritted her teeth, suppressed her anger, looked up at the sky, and was shocked. She had never paid attention to it before, but now she looked at the double moons, and they looked like human eyes. Qinglong, who was covering her face, came over and said, the double moons are too high. Even if I have the 9 flying dragon style bonus, my sword energy cannot cross such a long distance. If Tang Feng had not been injured, his sickle wind might have been able to perform a super long distance slash. No, Jiang Chen, if Qinglong and Tang Feng are not good enough, then I am even worse. I am far inferior to these two idiots in long-range attacks. Although she didn't know how Jiang Chen could see the true form of the monster, it was exactly the same as what the master said, but Tang Shasha still had no hope. You rubbish, I knew you were unreliable. You. Can you do it? I admit that you are domineering and powerful in close combat, but no matter how powerful you are, what does it matter if you can't hit? Okay, I admit that what I said just now was a bit loud. Tang Shasha looked at Jiang Chen in front of her with a dull face, and his body suddenly swelled and turned into a giant dragon in the air. Fuck, Qinglong's eyes were shining, Jiang Chen. If it were you. As long as I ride you, combined with my sword energy, I will definitely be able to cut the moon above my head. Jiang Chen was about to teach this ignorant Qinglong a lesson. As if to confirm his guess, a vague and grand voice spread from the sky throughout the town. Listen, everyone who is still alive in this town. I am the master Qinglong. You should be able to hear me. The nightmare demon has been trapped by me. The moon you see is actually its eye. Its eye connects the inner and outer worlds. You must find a way to attack its eye and open a gap. Otherwise, after I kill it, its body will collapse and you will die in it. You don't have much time. It's the teacher. My teacher. Tang Shasha said excitedly. Oh my God, we are saved. The master of the temple, one of the 8 great masters in the world, is here to save us. Damn it, why didn't you come earlier? If you had come one day earlier, the tragedy would not have happened. Tang Shasha, what are you guys waiting for? Hurry up. Great, once the gap is opened, we can ride on this dragon and everyone can get out alive. Jiang Chen's huge dragon eyes glanced coldly at everyone, but ignored them. What a joke. If a person stops and throws stones at every dog that barks at him, he will never reach his destination. Even if the passage is opened, he will only take the little boy out. The others should fend for themselves. Take your sword and follow me. You agree? A deafening dragon roar sounded, and Qinglong's face flushed with excitement. Dragon. The totem of the Han dynasty, the symbol of the highest and most noble. If I ride one, it will be so impressive in the future. Qinglong, who was immersed in fantasy, was caught in Jiang Chen's palm without noticing. Boy, if you dare to have wild thoughts again, I will crush you to death. You guys come with me. Then he grabbed Tang Shasha and Lin Hao in his palm with one claw. Qinglong trembled all over, his fantasy was shattered, and he looked regretful. He could only watch himself being taken to the sky by Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen opened his huge mouth, and a hot and bright light condensed in his mouth. Heat breath fire dragon emperor. The dazzling dragon-shaped torrent rushed up to the sky. The night was as bright as day. 9 flying dragon styles 9 returns. The huge dragon-shaped sword energy and the fire dragon complemented each other, and hit the 2 moons fiercely. The sky was visibly shaking. The moon turned like a human eye, staring at Jiang Chen. Then there was an unknown ancient and melodious wail. As the wail sounded, the town was turned upside down, the earth cracked, the houses broke and collapsed, and the world shook. The nightmare demon's body completely revealed its hideous face, and the so-called rules and runes were completely useless. Oh no, the monster broke in by force. The runes are useless. In an instant, the survivors were caught off guard, and the town turned into a hell on earth. Xiaoyu, who was living in her candle room, was oblivious to the outside world. She felt extremely safe and had already fallen asleep in bed. Before falling asleep, she comforted herself, Brother Tang Feng saved me with his life. I must not let him down. I must live well. There was a crack, and the wall was easily torn apart. The ferocious monster broke into the hut. How could it be? Xiaoyu, who was awakened, looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief while holding the talisman in his arms. In the house where Tang Feng was, everyone was once again surrounded and killed. Some were running for their lives, and no one cared about Tang Feng's life or death. What do you mean? Why are you running? What should I do? Come and save me. Tang Feng looked at the fleeing people on both sides angrily, and kept slapping the bed frame with his hands, barking helplessly. As the monster with a haggard face and a ferocious body approached, Tang Feng kept waving the sickle wind blade. No, don't come over. Get out of here. That dragon. Come down and take us up. Damn it. We can't hold on any longer. Help. Tang Sha, who was under the claws, showed reluctance, but she didn't say anything. She knew she was not qualified to ask Jiang Chen to rescue them. If you don't quickly click out a channel, it will be useless to save as many people as you can. Everyone will become a dead body in the grave. As long as the channel between the 2 worlds is broken through, the master will surely have a way to transfer them out. How long they can live depends on when we can defeat these 2 eyeballs. Realizing that Tang Sha was a little depressed, Jiang Chen reminded her, try harder. Those nightmare demon subbodies are coming to disturb us.